Hey, everybody, it's Mike Portnoy here, hanging with my boys Tom and Zeus right here on Shout It Out Loudcast.
And reports tonight on how destruction is impacting the campus community.
Names of O'Hara Hall, Skid Row, T-Zone, Banff.
Badass motherfuckers.
Somph, sit on my face.
Drinking like fucking ass pre-gaming, as we called it. What is this dorm damage bill on our tuition statement?
Dorm damage?
Well, we only broke like 3 chairs and 4 desks this month.
Is that a positive thing? Bam! That's right. We're back with another episode of Dorm Damage, the show where anything and everything is on the table and the table gets smashed. This is a very special episode 105. We're having a legendary guest here to talk about the 50th anniversary of a legendary film that we all love, Zeus. What do we got going on this week?
One of our favorite movies and one of the greatest movies of all time is celebrating its 50th anniversary, Jaws. Who better to bring on to do a retrospective on the 50th anniversary of Jaws and what it means and how great this film is than probably one of its most famous fans, and that's the great Charles Benante. So without further ado, here we go.
So when we decided to do a 50th anniversary celebration of Jaws, Zeus and I knew that there was only one person we were going to bring on for the show. Now, you all know him as one of the all-time greatest hard rock and heavy metal drummers from his time with Anthrax. Now he's touring with Pantera, which I'm going to be lucky enough to see him in August. And he is a super Jaws freak, and we're super excited to have him here. The one and only, the great Charlie Benante. Charlie, welcome.
The audience goes crazy.
The crowd goes wild. What's up, my man?
How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule here. We know that you're kind of in between with Metallica, and then the Pantera tour starts up soon. So thanks for taking some time to talk about the greatest movie ever made. Maybe we'll get to that.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Yeah. So we, growing up in Massachusetts, doing Cape Cod trips my whole life, we have a lot to say, but we want to hear from you first. So Jaws, right? What was your first, how did you get into it? When did you see it? What were your first thoughts? Start from there.
My oldest sister, Rose, which is Frankie, who's the bass player in the band. It's his mother. She's the one that first told me about Jaws. She had the book before the movie was made, and she would tell me about certain things in the book that got me so pumped and so excited. And then I got to read it. And I loved it. Just, your imagination goes with everything about that book. And then the movie comes out. And I remember we all went to the 86th Street Playhouse in Manhattan to see it. Stood on a long line. And I'll never forget getting closer and closer to going in. And then you see the lobby cards behind the window, and it shows you little scenes from the movie. But you never really see the shark. But there was a picture of a shark in one of the lobby cards. But it turns out that wasn't a shark. That was just thrown in there. And then you go and watch the movie. And I just remember please, everybody, shut the fuck up. I'm watching this movie, And I remember after seeing it, I had to go right back and see it again. And it was that kind of thing that, my sisters would drive me to the movie theater and they'd drop me off and I'd sit and watch it twice because I just loved it so much. And I don't know what it was about the movie that really got me. I think it was that being scared. We love being scared, but it was also the music in the movie. It was the way Steven Spielberg told the story. And like I said, dude, I was just fixated on this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, so Charlie, you're a little bit older than us. This came out in 1975. Zeus and I were only 2 years old when it came out, but growing up, my grandmother owned a little oceanfront cottage up in York Beach in Maine. So when I was younger, we would go up there and you had Jaws in 75 and Jaws 2 in 78. So Jaws in the ocean was in everybody's forefront at that time. And I remember, Charlie, I'm sure you remember these because you're a collecting freak, that the trading cards, the Jaws trading cards. I remember seeing those, the posters. I think I actually saw Jaws 2 first. I think that because so I came back, and then when I was about 12 or 13, probably way too young, I actually read the Peter Benchley book. I read the book. And like you said, it's first of all, it's way different than the movie. There's a lot of things that Steven Spielberg did not want to put in the movie, which I'm glad. But when I first saw the movie, unlike any other movie, I mean, the only thing I could compare it to for me and my age group is like kind of like the Star Wars phenomenon. It just stays with you. It's something you've never seen. It's something that you'll never see again. You've never seen since. And one of the huge things, Charlie, you hinted at it, that they both have in common is it might arguably be two of John Williams' most iconic scores right there. And to this day, I mean, 50 years, the movie could come out today and still kick ass. It's timeless.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. John Williams' score is half of the movie.
Yep.
Because even if you don't see the shark, you hear it. And and when you hear that bum, 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 it gets your heart racing because you don't know where it is. But the way Spielberg shot the movie, the music only appears when the shark is there. There's scenes where you see a fin, but there's no music, and you know it's the fake. It's the fake shark that the kids are doing. But but that's what I mean about the filmmaking and the way Spielberg tells a story. He makes all of us feel like we're a part of it, and it's like this could be a real thing. You know, shooting where he shot in Edgartown. You know, Martha's Vineyard, which I remember going there for the first time.
Yeah, I've seen your pictures that you posted about your trip back in the 90s.
Nobody knew anything when I got there. Not a fucking person. Like, hey, do you know where the blah? They're like, no, what's that? I'm like, asshole, it's fucking Jaws. You know, you should know this. This should be like, everybody knows it. So a funny story. We went to this restaurant where someone told me that the Kintner kid is the manager at this restaurant. So I'm like,
no shit.
Fuck, I'm going there. I go there and he had the night off. But on the menu,
no way.
Here we go.
Kintner burger right there. It's a fish fillet. It's a fish fillet covered in like this red sauce. And I'm like,
God,
that's the greatest. I'll have one of those.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
But everything else, I had to find it out.
Yeah.
I heard a story about that the woman who played his mom went into that restaurant years later and they're like, wait a minute, like I played your son in that movie.
Yeah.
And they had a reunion of some sort. That is amazing. I'm like Tom, family vacations were Cape Cod every summer. Yep. So by the time I started getting my first memories, I remember Jaws. It's very similar to going to Cape Cod. All the beaches, the atmosphere, the crowds, and the people hitting the streets there, the architecture. You know, it's a little more Martha's Vineyard than the Cape, but you pick up on that stuff. So Jaws was kind of like our thing. And what's amazing about it now is all we do now is get shark warnings if you go to vacation at the Cape constantly.
Yeah.
I have an app. I put it on once to say, like, if you go to whatever beach, because I'd go to the Cape all the time, I had a house there, it would say, like, oh, there's a shark notice here, don't go here. I had to take it off because it was just like fucking every day there's sharks all over. And that's what makes this movie so amazing. And you can talk about climate change and all that other stuff, but it's not supposed to happen. There aren't supposed to be sharks in Cape Cod. That's what made this. Like, no, I can't be one of that. No, what? What is it? No, it's a boating act. All that shit. It was just fascinating to see. And you look back in the 70s and how they reacted to that. There's no cell phones. There's nothing. It's just how they had to deal with it. And this guy's like, at first, after he sees the girl dead, he runs out and goes to the hardware store, buys the signs.
Buys the signs.
Paint. Oh yeah, put up some, like, it's so archaic, you think. And it's like it's in our lifetime this was happening. But everything about the movie was amazing. Between the fact that this was the first real summer blockbuster and everything goes past this. If you look at Spielberg all the way up to Jurassic Park, same formula. When Jurassic Park came out, you were hinted at monsters and stuff and dinosaurs. He never showed you them in the ads or anything. You had to wait to see it. And then the score
you remember
comes
when
out.
you first saw it?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the score came out when that Brontosaurus was up and trying to grab that thing. And you're like,
Great
holy
scene.
shit, he did it again. He did it again. The monster's never seen on film, just like all his movies. The big thing is not on film until later. And it drives you. The story is the movie, right? It's not the big actors in it or anything like that.
No.
It's just the story.
Because the Jaws, there's pretty much unknown actors. I mean, yes, they're known, but they're not at the A level that they would become.
Yeah, it's not Paul Newman then or something like that starring.
Exactly, because if you heard of who they wanted to play those roles, they were already established actors.
Yeah, they wanted like Lee Marvin and huge names.
It wouldn't have worked because the only reason why, and same thing with Star Wars, the reason why they worked is because Luke Skywalker, that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not an actor that is already established that you know. So the same with Jaws. So Brody, I mean, I knew Roy Scheider because he was in like
French Connection.
French Connection.
Yep.
He's a great actor. And Robert Shaw, of course, he was in a movie called The Sting. I kind of knew him. And then Dreyfuss was in American Graffiti. But they were all very, the roles weren't like starring,
almost character actors, good character actors. Yeah,
exactly. So the casting for that movie is perfect.
Yeah, and I think the thing too, I mean, because everybody always talks about the casting because of how perfect it is, and I think people don't understand how important it is. Star Wars is a great analogy. You don't want superstars in these movies because I think that would have taken away. Like if you had Robert Redford and Paul Newman and like Lee Marvin, the movie, you would have lost sight of the story because you would have just been like, oh my God, look at Paul Newman, he's so cool. So, but with this, and I think the other thing too that I love about the casting is Chief Brody is not like a super cop. He's not like he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's a dad. He's a husband. He's an everyman. He gets easily rattled. He's shaken. He's nervous. He doesn't know what to do. You can relate to that. He's not like a super cop, like a superhero. No. He's a guy in a small town. He doesn't really know what the hell's going on. He doesn't know what to do.
He's from New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Hates the water. I love the line when he says it's only an island if you look at it from the water.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
But for the most part, he doesn't like the water. Right. I think he transferred there just to get away from the craziness of the city.
Yeah, the city.
And then all of a sudden he's drawn into this thing where now he's got to go kill this thing. You know what I mean? And I think on the boat, he's thinking like he's in charge, but he was never in charge.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's in charge and he's the guy who has to take care of this, which to me, I love his story. Like it's just such a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah. The, what I don't know. I'm assuming this is true for you guys, but everybody gravitates towards Clint, right?
Oh yeah.
Quint is just, he is such, like, I think in movies, just an all-time character.
So I think it's funny because I think everybody wants to be Quint, but I think we all feel like we're Brody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like I want to be Quint. I want to be a fearless badass that can destroy the radio and do this on my own, but I'd be pissing my... Like Brody's reaction to when Quint destroys the radio.
Never mind that. How about the fact you either kind of go with everything's hoopa with that Boston kind of sales accent, hoopa, you either gravitate towards him, the college guy, or you gravitate to the all-knowing seaman who just knows from experience. And that shit is so fascinating. I love it. And he talks about it's like your fancy college education can't admit when you're wrong.
Yeah. You got city hands. You got city hands, Mr. Hooper. But the thing about Quint is like this was personal to him because of the Indianapolis, the thing that happened.
Yep.
And I don't think Quint, I mean, yes, I guess he knew the size of the shark because Hooper knew the size of the shark because of the bite radius and all that stuff. And when Hooper brings on the cage, Quint looks at him like, "The fuck is this?"
Right. Like
you're not going to
You're not going to
get close enough to this thing. But that scene, especially when Brody pulls the wrong line and the fucking cage comes falling down, and then the tank comes falling down. Mm-hmm. That's a Spielberg thing right there. He puts that in there, so you're like, later on, that's gonna.
Oh, he does that a few times.
100%.
He does shit like that. Here's one thing
that book. Remember the book, the picture book he had. He was looking through the books. The shark. There was a tank in one of the pictures.
Chewing on a tank. Exactly. Yep. So I think they show you that, and Brody is like, "Okay, I think I got this." But the one thing that I've always said since this is going years. Okay, so when you first see them on the boat, okay, Hooper's upstairs, Brody's down there doing the chum line, and then Quint's in the chair fishing for the shark. When that scene is done, where does that chair go?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember now. I feel like I thought I knew everything about this movie, and now I'm drawing a blank.
I know.
Where does it go?
I don't know.
Hole that it's like there's no hydraulic like his stages that just goes down.
Right.
What did they just throw it over?
Probably, I don't know. That's good. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were saying that they showed what they did. You're just saying it's just a bad effect. Like
just like it's almost like Spielberg made the rare mistake.
But because you brought that up, I'm going to tell you that's another one of my favorite. I can do this all day with him. Just that acting. When he's just doing there calmly, putting something in his mouth, and he stares. The camera catches him looking at the line, and the line creaks a little, and he keeps looking. And he's, dude, that is such great acting. I watched that, and then even in that scene you mentioned when the tank almost fell over, I love this little subtlety. Like he likes Brody because he says, "Hey, Chief. Next time, just ask me and I'll get it for you." Like a grandpa would say to his grandson, like, "Son, don't grab that. Like your dad's going to get upset. Ask me next time. I'll take care of it for you." I love that little subtlety that he does with them. Chief, just ask. And he does that with them like affectionately with the chief. I think he respects the chief because the chief admits that he's out of his element. Whereas Hooper thinks he knows everything, and that annoys him.
Yeah. One thing. Let's talk about like one huge aspect of this movie that a lot of people think kind of saved the movie or made the movie what it was, and that was the problems that they had with the mechanical shark. Right. So, I mean, the magic of this movie is, and the magic of any horror movie. And Charlie, I know you're a horror movie fan like me. Is what you can't see, what your own mind can envision. And I think two things made this movie. And it could have been dumb luck or whatever. But the fact that they had problems with the shark and then resorted to the barrels, the yellow barrels. It's one of the greatest things in any movie you've ever seen in your life, because it shows you, first it shows you where the shark is without seeing the shark. But the other thing I love about it is it shows that Quint is now scared. Because he's like, I've never seen this before.
Oh, when he stands up and says that,
the shark. It's like so the barrels don't just show you where the shark is; they show you the fucking power of the shark. So it's brilliant, Charlie.
It's brilliant, and like you said, that saved the movie, and the music saved the movie.
Yeah.
But the whole aspect of it of the shark not working because of the mechanics making the shark. So they tested the shark. It wasn't tested in salt water in the sea. It was tested like on the back lot in just normal water. Then once they got it to there, the hydraulics started to not to work the way it worked in when they were testing the shark. So that was a big problem. I mean, I used to read, one of the first books I ever had was this. It's called the Jaws Log, and it's written by Carl Gottlieb, who played the journalist. He was the head of the Gazette in the movie. He's the one, like, well, technically you need a civil ordinance and a blah, blah, blah.
The mustache guy.
The mustache. Yeah. He's like the mayor's partner. He wrote the book, and it details all these things in it. And that was like my Bible back then. Just, oh my God, this happens. This, oh, I love this. Because I love the making of that movie. And so about 6-8 months ago, I ordered this copy of Jaws. It's like the 50th anniversary, and it finally came the other day, and there's a new documentary on it. It's awesome. It's like, it's so good, because I was in the one that's called The Shark Is Not Working. And that was done in like the 90s, and those guys did such a great job on that. This one is really good too. I think it's going to premiere on Disney. But I loved it. I love everything behind the scenes of Jaws, but it's like, how much more don't I know,
Yeah. It's funny, Charlie, because I ordered the 50th anniversary Steelbook, like Blu-ray 4K, and it's got that documentary on it. I think it's called Jaws at 50, and it's on that.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's on that. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and then I think it's going to be on Disney Plus too. But like you said, that's the thing, and it's almost like for us, like, for us being like Kiss freaks or like Star Wars freaks, anytime there's like a massive anniversary celebration of something, you just absorb it all the merchandise, the t-shirts, the toys, the collectibles. It's fucking incredible. And it just shows you that it's never going to go anywhere.
There was a period there where I felt like I was the only one on the Jaws Island, back then. Cause it's like, there was a period, if you remember, where Steven was making movies that people felt were just too cuddly and too nice. I'm gonna say I wasn't the biggest ET fan.
Okay.
But then, I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Sugarland Express, that's like one of his first movies. Great fucking movie. And then he comes out with Jaws. Then he comes out with Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Then there's 1941.
Oh yeah,
that's the Belushi one, right?
Not a good movie.
It's a strange one.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, come on, man, Raiders of the Lost Ark,
and
blah, blah. The guy is just, and then Schindler's List is such a personal movie for him. But man, that movie is so intense, and like everything that he makes is just so well done. He's like the Beatles of directors,
Yeah. It's true.
I will say this, what I always love about Jaws is there are certain scenes. I mean, the whole movie's incredible, but there's certain scenes that move you. So I want to talk about that and get your kind of favorite scenes or favorite parts. One of mine is when Hooper comes and they're all bragging about the shark. We caught the shark. It was the tiger shark. And they're all over there. And he's like, look, it might be, maybe it is this shark, but chances are that this is not. And you can watch as all of a sudden the mayor's overhearing this. And it's such great acting and just filming it, because you pick up on it and you can totally feel that. And he's like, huh? What's this fucking guy saying? No. And he walks
if you remember that scene too, the guys who supposedly caught it were the guys that were being assholes to Hooper. When he's like, hey, if there's a good restaurant? He's like, yeah, you just walk straight ahead. Those are the guys that caught the shark. And Hooper refers to them as bozos.
Yeah.
I love it, because he's the one that goes personal.
What?
I love that.
A tiger shark. Yeah.
Like that.
And then the other one is like I think that mayor just steals that fucking movie with.
That guy's awesome.
And when he's just like, there's accent, this and that. But when you say shark, just the way he said it, you get this like, oh, do not say that fucking thing around here. You're going to have a panic on the 4th of July. Like, and it's the quintessential story. The fanatic businessman that puts, his business and money ahead of people.
Yep.
And his arc. And then at the end, when he's like, my kids were on that beach. And you're like, and you're that much of an asshole. It wasn't really, like he really realized, wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing here? I just think that those are great scenes for me.
If you read the book, you knew there was a whole storyline about the mafia and
yes.
Yep. And knowing Mayor Vaughn and the way he's portrayed in the movie, and he's got to keep the beaches open.
Yep.
I always thought about, wait, are they not saying anything about,
right.
The mafia here?
Right.
Is that implied that he's got to keep the beaches open and blah, blah, blah? But you mentioned scenes that one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the part that happens in the estuary when the kids are out there and the guy's rowing and he's like, you kids okay over there?
Oh, God, that part.
That's the first time you see the shark.
That's right. That poor guy.
It actually gets more and more before you see the shark. Every killing, you see a little more of the shark. Even the Kintner boy, you kind of see a fit, and then you look back, and then you can see the raft is blowing up, and you see something moving. And then the other one, I always laugh at that poor guy. I don't know why I think it's funny.
Hey, kids, you need some help?
Yeah.
Like
hey,
just some
kids,
kind of like
what's
hippie
going on
dude
over there? Like this innocent dork that just happens to be there. He just gets wolfed by the shark and ripped, and his leg comes off. Oh,
yeah. You see that leg floating.
That's the best part of it. That's when you see it for the first time and you see the size of it. And that's when my heart was just like, shit.
And then one of my favorite scenes that has nothing to do with the shark or anything, just because I'm a sucker for these kinds of things. And I know you guys, obviously everybody loves the scene, but it's just that simple scene with Brody at the dinner table with his little boy. I've always loved that when, and if correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, I believe that was improv, that wasn't even part of the thing, that Brody, did this, I know people can't see, but, put his hands up. And then, Roy Scheider looks over and sees that the little boy is mimicking him. So they keep doing it. It's just, I mean, that's
Spielberg.
That's what I was just going to say. That's what Spielberg brings to these movies. And that's such a little scene, but it brings so much humanity to Chief Brody. And you're like, God damn it. Like that could be me. Like I have a little boy, and he realizes I really need to get this shark because I got boys and I got little kids and I'm a family man. And it's just such a Spielberg part of those movies. He always adds those family types of things that kind of bring everything back into reality. I just think it's spectacular.
It's like I said, the way he tells the story, he hits you with certain things because he'll hit you with something heavy.
Yeah. And
then he'll bring it back and just hit you in the heart where it's like father and son. The son almost knows his dad is having a fucked up day.
Exactly.
And he's there to just kind of
trying to help him out. Yep.
It's going to be okay. I mean, Brody can't even eat. He left his whole dinner there. Then Hooper comes in and he's like, "You gonna eat this?
That's right. Is anyone eating this?" So
I love that.
I haven't read the book. I never read the book. And
from
what I understand, in the book, Hooper has an affair with his wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
The fuck is that? That would kill the movie. I'm glad he's like, I'm not putting this in there.
That's exactly why. And then they and in the book they also make Chief Brody like an alcoholic, kind of not a very likable guy. Like you love Roy Scheider, you love Chief Brody, but again, that's Spielberg kind of smoothing the edges. Spielberg's not going to add those parts of the book into the movie.
He's like, we don't need this. We're here to tell a story. It doesn't add to anything, and that's the beauty of it, the way he directs. And but if you follow how the story came down, he had so many different people taking attempts at writing the script, and then they would talk about day after day. They would both meet in the morning to rewrite what's going to happen, and then they would do a lot of rewrites. Like that whole Indianapolis scene. That was put in the movie. That's probably one of the greatest scenes in movies.
Monologue.
It's so intense because the both of them, Hooper and Brody, are just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like we thought this guy was just some fucking fisherman.
Yeah.
And
it was cool that they added, from what I read, that they kind of added that story so that Quint would you would believe Quint, like, why does he hate this shark? Why is he such a man on a mission? Why did he smash that radio? He doesn't want anybody helping him. He wants to do this on his own with him and these two guys. And I think that him telling that story, I mean, you just get chills just even like thinking about that.
Oh, it's great.
It's just
all his actions with the shark are amazing because he speaks out of a level of knowledge of the sea and these animals. And that one scene when he's like, that's either the smartest or the dumbest shark when he's going under.
Yeah. When he's going under.
And like, you can kind of feel like and see like the wheels going off. Like, what the fuck am I dealing with here? This is not normal. This is fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Now, if you watch the documentary, it tells you about that whole thing that Robert Shaw told Spielberg for this scene. I want to have a bit of a buzz on me. I don't want to be drunk, but I want to have a bit of a buzz. So Spielberg tells a story about Robert drank too much and they couldn't complete the scene the first time they shot it. And then the next time he did it, and he was, like I said, he had a buzz on him. Because if you look at him, he looks like he's kind of fucked up a little bit as you tell him the story.
Yeah.
And then he kind of sobers up a bit for a certain part. That is acting.
Yeah.
And part of the storytelling I want to add to.
Yeah.
When you see this movie, Spielberg makes you feel like you're the chief. Like you're the person doesn't know what I'm doing. I got Hooper saying one thing. I got him saying another. Like, I don't know how to tie a fucking knot. I don't know. Where am I going? Oh, fuck. I got stuck chumming this shit while you're up top. Like, you actually feel like the schlub that's along for this adventure with Brody. And then you see his reaction. Even the things when, like, the barrel comes off, just misses his fucking head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when Hooper gets the fucking rope caught on him and
behind his legs.
You feel that. It's so it's just you could show it a different way. I don't know what Spielberg does, but he makes it so that you can see these things and absolutely feel that you're in that scene with them. You're on that boat with them. That's how he does it. It's amazing.
I often wonder, after hearing so many stories about how it was made, and Spielberg was so young at the time. I think he was 27, and he didn't have the experience as other directors had at that point. I wonder if Spielberg was 37 when he made that movie, would he have opted out of the ocean? Like, I'm not going to do this because, he tells stories about they'd get the shot lined up. And then all of a sudden, there'd be a boat in the distance.
In the background.
Through,
Yeah, right.
And then they'd have to wait like an hour and a half to reshoot. And then the boat would start to shift.
Yep.
It's those type of things that, and plus, they shot that thing in May. And the water's not warm in May. And the weather is really not that warm.
Not down the Cape. Nope.
Not a
And that's when they shot, like the Kintner scene was shot in May.
Yeah.
So they all had to be in the water in May. That shit's cold.
Hey, no one's brought this up yet.
Go ahead.
That kid's mom looks like she's like 65.
It looks like his grandmother.
Nobody said anything about that yet on the show. Because I always looked at that scene like, no way is that his mom. No way.
Because back in 1975, moms looked like they were like grandmas.
They were smoking cigarettes and like drinking their drinks or something. That woman looks like she's 60.
Yeah,
like she's drinking a highball on the beach.
Right. Yeah, smoking Virginia.
Who's the other
Slims.
lady? Who's the other lady that plays somewhat of a role in there? I think she's like like town manager, secretary. Who talks like this? You're not an Islander, chief. You'll never be one. That lady.
Yeah,
that's the one who says, "Are you going to close the beaches?" And
yes.
And he's like, "Yes," and it's like only 24 hours, and he's like, "What?
I didn't agree to that."
Yes,
the other great Spielberg thing, and it's a sign of the times because if the movie came out now, I don't think it would have happened. But the ending of the movie, like the very ending, after Brody blows up. Scene. After Brody shoots the tank and blows up, and then you think, oh, shit, what the hell happened to Hooper? When Hooper comes up and they build their little raft and they start kicking and, they're like, I've always hated the water. I can't imagine why. And then it just, that's the end of the movie. And that's
You see
fucking,
them
you see
swimming-
them kind of swimming
swimming
towards the
back.
shore. But that's brilliant because you know that if that came out today, there'd be a scene with them going back into town and having a parade. And like, I just love how it just ended. Like, that's it. You don't need to see any
Me
more.
too.
You get it, that this is how it ended.
And I love I remember this too when I saw it in the theater. The applause when Hooper comes back up.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, because you loved Hooper, who dies in the book, by the way.
That's right. Yep.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was
But
the
it's
shark
also-
get him?
It's
In the tank? Is that what happened when he goes in the water?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's in the tank.
I don't know if it's yeah.
I don't remember.
But the other thing too, Charlie, about Hooper reappearing, I know for me, the first time I saw it, or even because there is so much going on with Quint being eaten and with Brody blowing, your mind, you almost forget about Hooper. So when he pops up, you're like, oh fuck, he's not dead. Like thank God he's here, you know? Because so much
you
going on.
just witnessed the whole Quint death. And that was just so like, oh my God.
Right.
That was so intense.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, the way they filmed that, and you feel so bad. I feel so bad for Brody because Brody kind of couldn't hold on to him. But then when the shark comes crashing through and Quint's guts are on his teeth.
Oh yeah, that's so nasty.
And
then he starts
Brody's
spitting
like,
the blood out. Oh.
but there's the tank right there. You know?
You see, the tank is right there.
Yeah,
but that scene.
Do you look at the scene? Wait. Do you look at that scene afterwards when the shark's coming after Brody? You're like, where's Quinn? Is he in his teeth? I'm like looking for his body in there. Or even when the shark blows up, I'm like, is that half of Quinn's leg going up? Like, what the fuck happened to him?
But that scene.
Let me just finish this last thought about
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just get excited talking about Jaws.
And then, what's his name comes up out of the water. Hey, Quinn. He's like, no. I would be like, dude, the fucking shark fucking ate him alive right in front of me. I saw that thing just fucking eat the boat and chomp on him. That's like the most horrifying thing I think I would ever see, especially like you said, like you trying to hold on to him and you let him go. And you can feel like Quinn when he's kicking his legs, he's trying to stay out of it. Then all of a sudden, that one bite gets him.
That one
and he's
bite
like,
just
he's fucked now.
But that scene after that, Charlie, you were saying when the shark barrels through the wall, and I don't know if it was done on purpose, but if you watch it, when he comes through the boat, you can see his big black shark eyes, kind of face to face, like because the head comes in kind of sideways the way it's filmed, and Brody's like, "Fuck, it's me against this shark."
It totally is because the guy just ate. Just had Quint, but he's like, fuck this. I want that other one too. And when he comes just crashing through and Brody's just like, I'm fucked here. I have nothing. And then that tank comes floating by and he immediately thinks, boom. Tell you, man, that scene after that, when Brody climbs all the way up and it's just sinking and sinking. He only has minutes, seconds, you know, to either make this happen or he's done.
Yep.
You know?
Because he's gonna be in the water. He's fucked.
And that line, "Smile, you son of a bitch," and then having it blow up. It's like you talk about the crowd cheering. It's fucking beautiful.
Oh, I love it. But think about how much it changed, like pop culture and everything. Jaws did. Everybody was scared of the ocean. All sharks became the coolest. Best thing was like Bruce Lee in karate. All of a sudden, everybody in the 70s doing karate. All of a sudden, everybody's like into sharks and
Shark Week.
Attacks. Yeah, and it just from this one fucking movie. I remember I had a cousin, Mike, who got me into Kiss. Yeah. He pissed himself at the movie theater seeing it. And I remember that because it stayed with us, all us cousins laughing at him for years about him pissing himself seeing Jaws when he fucking ate. I think it's probably Quinn, probably that part.
Yeah.
But it changed everything. People were scared to go into the ocean. I remember everything about the Cape changing, everything sharks.
Dude, I grew up with a pool. I had a pool growing up, like an above ground pool, like a round pool. even then, you'd friends would be over and you'd just be like, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And you just like grab their leg, or you'd just like it was what you did. You fucked with people, and like that scene where the kids have like the fake fin on the back. They started like selling those. You could like put them on your head and like
he made me do it.
Awesome.
It was him.
Yeah, he made me do it. He made me do it. Yeah, it's wild.
But it became it was the 70s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was such an iconic thing. And then let's talk about the fucking poster. You know?
The
artwork.
It's amazing. Yeah, that poster is so iconic and classic and legendary. And speaking of the poster, it just dawned on me, we haven't even mentioned the opening scene. The very opening scene with the little beach campfire, and then the hot blonde chick strips and goes out in the water. I mean, you talk about filmmaking at its finest. You don't know what's going on. You see her when she gets pulled under and she's gasping for breath, and then she gets dragged back and forth, and then she's just gone. Like, I mean, that you talk about like that. Not many movies like that have opening scenes like that where, like, you know what, we're not taking any prisoners here. We're not coming at you easy. Get ready for this, because I mean that opening scene is just brilliant.
It's like a perfect record when you put it on, and that first song just grabs you and pulls you in. If you go see Jaws, and let's say you don't know what to expect, and that scene comes in, there's no way you're leaving. You're in it. You're staying till the end. Because that first scene, man, it's so tragic too. The way it happens, and you don't know what it is.
But they actually had some of that score in the opening before the girls go out and before she goes out. Remember, they're showing like the corals and all the ocean, and you're like the shark, and you can kind of hear it and see like you're acting like the shark's looking for food.
Yep.
And all of a sudden,
right, but you didn't put it together then. You didn't put it together because you didn't know.
You didn't know.
And then you started to realize that the music is the shark. And that to me is the greatest marriage of like, how do you do that? How do you do that? That's genius.
It is. It really is.
Well, the other part to this whole saga is they did do 3 other sequels. We don't have to talk about all of them. I do like 2. I love it.
2.
I thought 2 was pretty good.
I love 2. It's not John. It's not John. Hold on. What? No one is comparing anything to the original. But if you look at it for what it is, I think Jaws 2 is pretty good. Charlie, no.
Okay. I like it because it's the bookend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Jaws 1, Jaws 2. I like that it takes place and it's the same people, same characters. That's exactly the aspect of it I love. What I don't like about the movie is the shark is horrible. The story just goes somewhere else, and Spielberg had nothing to do with it. Although I will give it up for Joe Alves, who was a big part of it. You know, Joe was so instrumental in the first movie, and if it wasn't for him, I guess I wouldn't like 2 as much, you know, as I do. But the shark didn't look good. They should have never burnt the shark. It looked stupid. And I didn't care about these kids. That's the thing too. Like, kill them all. Get rid of them.
The kid. Well, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like an 80s slasher movie where all these kids are here just to get eaten or terrorized. The only thing that really stands out for me in that movie that I like is the scene with the helicopter. When the chopper lands on the ocean, that's fucking amazing. And then the very end with the cable, it's kind of stupid, but at least it's a little bit of action and suspense when Brody throws the cable and he catches on fire. Granted, it's dumb, but I thought it was mildly entertaining. And I think the fact that Roy Scheider was in it again kind of added to it.
That's the reason why I like it, is because like I said, they all returned, but for the most part, to this day, I can't really like love it. If it's on, I'll watch it, but those are the only 2 that I can really deal with. I cannot deal with 3.
That's horrible.
I can't deal with 4. Even though the shark in 4 was good. It looked good though. That's what I'll say.
I think someone made fun of Michael Caine about that movie, and then he said, that movie bought me that house that's over there, or whatever he owned, like something like that.
I remember reading that too.
And he's like, which I understand, like, hey, fuck you. It's a job. I did my job. I got fucking paid on it. Yeah. And they brought the mom back. apparently the kids grow up and they all get eaten by the shark again.
Yeah.
Like, come on, what are we doing, people? Come on.
But at least, part 3 is so terrible that it's funny with like Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett. Special effects are horrendously awful.
It takes that place 3D when it comes into that
when it comes through the glass.
Oh God, dude!
But Jaws: The Revenge, the fourth one, that's like just unwatchable. You got Mario Van Peebles who thinks he's like the island guy. It's fucking just terrible. It's so
I can't
bad.
deal with it. I'll tell you a story about that Jaws 4 movie. We were in the Bahamas. We were at Compass Point Studio, mixing Among the Living, and I'll never forget this. We were heading to the airport where we finished mixing the record, and when we were at the airport, we saw huge like road cases with Universal on it. You know, they were coming down there to start making Jaws, and I don't know. I just love that.
You should have stopped. It was good that you saw, but you should have said, "Don't do it." Yeah, who knew it was going to be a mess?
Who knew?
But I want to ask you one thing, Charlie. So again, you're a horror fan like me. They have remade every iconic movie ever. They've remade this. Rob Zombie did his Halloween, for better or for worse. They did Texas Chainsaw. They did, Friday the 13th and Evil Dead, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying I want it, but I'm saying I'm pleasantly surprised that no one has the balls to try to go after Jaws as a remake.
I don't think you could do it. I don't think you could do it because I think that would be one of the worst things. And I mean, how do you touch that movie? That's like saying, well, we're going to go back in and redo Sergeant Pepper. It's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah.
No, you're not. Do not touch that. And I think Jaws is such a thing that's like, they've tried to do The Exorcist over and over. They've tried to make Jaws over again with Deep Blue Sea and just other things like that.
The shark movies, yeah.
You'll never touch the original. Yeah. You can't. It's impossible.
It's a moment in time. Doesn't work. The story doesn't work. The part of the whole point of the movie is like you're not supposed to see sharks in these waters. They're too cold for them. So that's what made it like, oh, what, a shark up here? No way. Not just any shark, a killer shark up here. What are you gonna do now? There's fucking sharks in my backyard probably now. So like you can't make that like the surprise element. The fucking beach nowadays with cell phones and stuff, the Navy would be down in 2 seconds and kill that thing. It wouldn't make in the modern times. Then if you're going to go back and try to make it in the 70s, that'd be even worse.
But there's a reason why it worked back then. There's a reason why like The Exorcist worked back in the 70s because of Catholicism was I mean, everyone that I knew where I grew up was Catholic. Yep. So when you saw The Exodus, you were like, oh my God, how could they do this? And the same thing with Jaws. You never saw anything like that before. So nowadays, people are so desensitized to everything that it's almost laughable, Yeah.
So the only way this would work, and I've seen documentaries on it, is what Jaws was based on. That whole 1912, is it? New Jersey River, where a bull shark went down into the mainland, into fresh water, just fucking ate like 5 or 6 people, because that's when recreational swimming became popular and it was a wicked hot summer. That would make for a great movie. I don't know. I've never seen a major motion picture depicted. I've seen documentaries on it. Shark Week talking about that. It's a crazy story. That's what Jaws is based on, because it's not supposed to be there.
And the other thing about all these other shark movies, and some of them are decent, but those shark movies, the focus is the shark. I think the magic of Jaws is like the shark is, it's about the shark, but the story is Brody and Quint and Hooper in the town and what they're all experiencing, and the shark is there. Like, I mean, I like Deep Blue Sea. It's stupid. I like 47 Meters Down and Open Water in the Shallow.
I do too.
Those are good movies.
What's that one that came out in Paris? Did you see that? I saw
it's
that
terrible.
one. The one with all the sharks and like an Olympic event. and it just ate because all the activists were like, "Leave these sharks alone, leave them alone," and the sharks just ate all the activists. It was fucking hilarious.
There's a new one that just came out in the theaters called Dangerous Animals. I think it's called. I haven't seen it yet, but it's getting like rave reviews. They're saying it's like another great shark movie. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a shark movie, except for the fucking Sharknado movies. Those are fucking stupid. But yeah. Charlie, anything you want to add before we wrap up? I mean, we're covering all the things here. Jaws, any factoids or any fun experiences that you had before we let you go?
I do. Well, when I was mentioning I went to Martha's Vineyard to do my own Jaws landmarks. This was there. I did it in a week where I spent like a couple of days there, and then went back home to New York because they were showing Radio City was showing Jaws on the big screen, and Peter Benchley was going to be there to talk about it.
Nice.
And that was such, to me, that was such an event because, I mean, he wrote the book. Right. And just hearing Peter Benchley talk about Jaws and the experience, and he's in the movie too. He's the news.
Oh, yeah, he's the news guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just such a special thing. Jaws has always meant a lot to me. Ever since I was a little kid, I just thought it was the greatest. And to this day, it still holds up. You know, I've never said that part sucks. No, I've never said that. It's like everything about that movie is.
It's a top five. You don't turn it off if it's on American Movie Classics, TNT or TBS, right? If it's on, it stays on.
It stays on.
Godfather and a few others.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
And that's it. And then I have like this weekend is the last Metallica show with Pantera doing for this year. So we wrapped that up, and that dude, it went by like that. Yeah. It was like on paper, it's like, oh, these are going to be great, you know. And then we have one more left, and then we go over to do the Sabbath thing, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that's right.
That's going to be
that's going to be wild. And then you start with the headline, the Pantera headlining tour, which is going to be awesome.
And then Carla's she has this new band called The Violent Hour. That's so right. Good.
Yeah, her new project. Yep.
Yeah, and the EP comes out end of July, and that's so good. Nice. So happy about that.
Yeah, we talked to her about that, and we're like, she's like, wait till my video and my first single comes out. I'll be on, because we were like, come on, Charlie loves us. She's like, yeah, just wait. It's coming soon. I'll come on then. So we're anxious to meet with her. And
it's so good. It's so good, so good. And then Anthrax next year, we have a new record coming out.
Hell yeah!
Awesome. It sounds so good. We just finished, just recorded this last song. The title's called Watch It Go, and it's so intense. It's like one of my favorite songs on the record.
Love it.
A lot of drumming. A lot of crazy drumming.
Can't wait. Well, Charlie, I will see you on August 2nd when you come to Massachusetts with Pantera. But besides that, this has been a blast. The three of us love this movie. It was great to geek out with you. Super fan, Charlie. You are the man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and having some
fun.
Anytime. Thank you, brother.
All right, man.
Love you guys.
Thank you, man. Good luck.
Tom, that was Charlie Benante.
Incredible. I love nerding out on something that we all love. And you're right. Charlie is like the king of like Jaws fandom. I mean, he's been there. If you check out his Instagram page, he's met people. He's gotten pictures taken. He's visited the site. He knows all the factoids. Incredible conversation. And I'm sure you could tell we were having a friggin' blast just nerding out on one of the all-time great movies that we worship.
So I will say this has been an incredible year for Dorm Damage.
Oh, God, yeah.
This is probably a top 5 episode we've ever done on any form of Shout Out Loudcast.
I agree.
I thoroughly enjoyed. This is like the Jerky Boys episode. Me too. This was us just geeking out. We've come a long way to when Tom and I are like, let's do a 50th anniversary of Jaws. To be able to like, let's just text Charlie, see if he has time to come on before he goes and does his Aussie thing with Pantera and fucking Anthrax with Ozzy.
Yep.
Guys, I'm in. I think was his first thing he said to us.
Guys, I'm in. I'd love to be a part of that. We're very grateful that we've established a relationship with him. He's been on before. It made it that much better to have him and his super fandom and like inside knowledge, and just it was awesome. And we hope you guys loved it, because who doesn't love Jaws?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a perk, and it puts a big smile on my face that this is where we're at, that we can get this thing done, and I'm just happy. Unbelievable. Well, till next time. Peace out, Girl Scout. Oh, you over here? Yeah, I'm over here now.
Zeus, it's me. I want to end the show now.
Jesus Christ, Tom. Jesus Christ. Let's end the show now while we got the muscle.